assurance management in clinical trials. So this is again in your module 5. So this is with respect to the quality assurance management. So how best you can implement the quality in the clinical trials. Right? When you tell about quality, this is what they have to follow. So especially the clinical trials is between a doctor and the patient. So here your customers are the patients here, and it is the responsibility of the management and all this resource management, process management of the drug, as well as the measurement, analysis and improvement before it is let out. So many management principles will be included here in framing out the drug, and it is to be implemented to the customer. And whatever it's not a feedback, it's like uh, whatever the customer feels about the drug. So he will be informing back to the management. And again, if there is anything to be modified, it has to be modified in the process of the drug. So this is how the quality framework will go on, and it is between the doctor and the patient, and more of care should be taken in the clinical process, as there can be no mistakes with the or very less mistakes with the clinical trials what you are going ahead. So GCP we would have seen in your module 1. So what is GCP? What are the principles? And if they fail to implement the GCP, what are the problems encountered? And if the subjects, that is, if the patient is in problem after testing a drug and the doctor will be under the legal problems. So that is why GCP is implemented, right? So it's a good clinical practice. So it should be having ethical standards, as well as it has to go on with the particular regulatory requirements, because clinical practice should be taken with the interest of the patients. That is, there can be no mistakes with the clinical trials. So what GCP follows is design, how to conduct, how to perform, and after performance of a clinical trial, they are being monitored, audited, and then they are recorded, analysis and reporting. So this in detail we have seen in your module 1, and GCP should abide by ICH guidelines, right? So what it is telling is like the ICP guidelines, ICH guidelines is that there should be a lot of quality assurance and control systems with respect to the clinical trials what they are going ahead. So even the clinical trials has to be well planned and well audited before it is being tried on a particular subject, right? So the aim of this guidelines and this GCP is that you provide a quality assurance to the trial subject and credibility of clinical trial results. That is, your clinical trial results should be a well maintained one, or it's well effective one. So what is the key elements what they will go ahead with a clinical trial quality system is that you need a documented procedure, right? How you are going to go ahead with the clinical trial. So the procedure should be documented, and before trying on human subject, there should be proper trial that is being done in animal models and cell lines, etc. And whoever is doing the work or the clinical trial should be a trained personnel, right? And validation should be done, right? And monitoring of the trial sites, etc., should be done. That is, how they have performed, what is the side effect, what the clinical trial subjects have faced, all that should be monitored. Data management and quality control, that is, whatever the data you receive from the patients will be managed, and if there is something to be controlled, it will be again brought back to the process control, and then the process will be entirely controlled. And internal and external audit should be done for your clinical trial. So this will ensure the quality in the clinical trial. And what quality and what cost it should be like. quality is mostly termed as fitness for purpose. So it should be maintained for the purpose, and if there is a failure in the clinical trial, then what will happen is the cost will increase. Right, so a drug has lot of stages in its development. So when it is in clinical trial, it has passed lot of research, as well as the trials on the cell lines have already done, and then after cell lines it should be the animal models, and then it comes to the human uh, clinical trial. By the time the drug comes to the human clinical trial, it would have already passed some years, and lot of investment would have done in manufacturing a drug. Right, so in case if it is failing in the clinical trial, meeting a quality or requirement, or meeting the regulatory requirement, then it is an indication that a lot of economy is wasted in designing that drug. Right, so that is what the failure in the clinical trial will indicate, that it is a lot of cost is being wasted. Right, and a practical and cost effective paradigm is being developed, that is, adequate quality at the clinical trial should be such that the decision made would have been no different had the quality of data and information generated being perfect. That is, whatever the data you have generated, right, should be like authenticated one for them to take any decision on the clinical trials. So it's not that your clinical trial should be a narrow one, it should be a broad range. Many subjects should be taken, so that whatever data or an information collected or generated or analyzed will be perfect, so that there will not be any errors in the clinical data management. Okay, so current clinical trial design is being based upon all this. That is, it is expensive, right? So a lot of monitoring models do not optimally address the most clinical risk. They rely on frequent on-site monitoring visit by the sponsor personnel. Monitoring is only one component of overall quality framework, right? So all these are the things what are associated with the current clinical trials. And trial personnel agree that widespread adaptation of an enlightened quality by design approach for training, planning, conduct, and oversight. So with the existing clinical trials, something called quality by design has come into existence, which will take care whether the clinical trials, what your maintaining, or what are the methods you are doing for the clinical trials are quality based or not. So that is why the clinical trial is nowadays being clubbed with the quality by design. So that whatever procedures you follow for the clinical trials are quality based. When you tell a quality based, it is a framework that is being developed to conduct a particular uh, uh, clinical trial. Right, so the current challenge is again is that collecting the data, uh, analyzing them, and representing them in a graphical way what the people can understand. And once the data is being reported, it will be analyzed, and the graphical means will be generated. And then what we do is we try to implement the uh, and check whether the quality is in place. So, what is the current challenge is that managing the quality of the clinical data, because the clinical data what you receive after a drug trial will be huge in number, and to analyze them with respect to the quality requirement and quality surveillance will become a bit difficult. That is why this data management people or clinical data management people will be involved in doing this work, and uh, they will be actively involved in the data analysis and check whether it is according to the challenge. But it is a challenging task, as lot of subjects, a lot of trials will be done, and the data what they produce should reflect what is exactly done. That is why they have included this quality uh, by design. So we'll see what is quality by design. So quality by design is abbreviated as QBD, and it is having two principles. One is clinical insight, right, and process understanding. Okay, so what is clinical insight is a link between the product and its safety and efficacy in humans. So it is mostly with respect to the drug, right? Whether the product is safe and whether it is efficient in the human beings. So this is what is the first principle, that is a clinical insight, whereas the second principle is a process understanding. So process understanding is linked between the drug product and the process attributes. So the product produced and the process attributes in what they are being designed. So in case the efficiency in humans is not up to the mark, then you have to go back to the second principle where you go and understand the process and whether you can modify the process so that your drug is effective. That is why the quality by design is being developed. And what are the management principle is that you initiate, right, for the clinical trials, risk identification and assessment, control the risk, implement it, review it, and the risk will be communicated to the management. So this is how the clinical trial management process will carry out, where you initiate with the clinical trials, then the risk identification and assessment will be done, then risk control will be carried out, and then it will be implemented. And whatever implemented will be reviewed again by the quality people, and then whatever risk generated is being communicated. So all that risk analysis method and all that will be implemented for the clinical trials to estimate how intense is the risk in trying out a particular drug. Okay, so now what does the management do is that they have something called RBQM, which is a relative, right, which is, it is risk-based quality management, right? So as we have already learned about how the risk will be identified, risk analysis will be done, and you have some models to put the risk analysis, that is FMEA and all that. So now for your clinical trials, you are implementing this, that is your risk-based quality management will be carried out. That is, what is the intents of the risk that the clinical product has created. So they will identify, assess it, and control and communicate to the process people that what is the risk associated and what is the type of risk, whether it is a low, mid, and high grade associated with the clinical trial, and that will be communicated. So this risk-based quality management will take care about the management of the risk that is being associated with the quality control. Quality control in the clinical trials. Now, your risk-based quality management, how does it perform? Is just like how the other risk-based method follow. It will initiate, it will identify the risk and control the risk. And it will be communicated, implemented, and it will be reviewed again. So I'm not going in detail with this because this is common with any risk-based method, which we have already dealt with it in FMEA and the other risk-based analysis method. Okay, so even in your quality management, in your clinical trials, or you assure the quality based upon the risk management again, and then you have something called quality tolerance limit. So what is this quality tolerance limit is that you establish the acceptable variation or tolerance limits for the clinical trial procedures involved, bearing in mind the statistical design of the trial and the potential impact of the different levels of variability on the part of the trial. So what is a trial? Your drug is a trial. Who is the subject you are going to trial is a patient, and you need the trial data. What are the protocol procedures you have done, whether it is according to the GCP, that is a good clinical practice, and then comes the trial management procedures, that is once it is being implemented to the patients, whether is there any risk that is associated, okay, with the trials, whether there is side effects or the efficacy of the drug is not met. So whatever it is, the trial management procedures will be involved in managing these trials. Okay, so there's a quality tolerance limit for that. So that till the data will be analyzed analyzed and there will be a limit for the tolerance. So if it is above the tolerance limit, then you have to redefine your clinical trials according to the quality practice what they require. Okay, so that is what so much of statistical analysis will be done, and you will check whether the analysis is within the limit, tolerance limit. So if it is above the limit, then you have to redefine your clinical practice, what you are carrying out. And you are reporting the quality, what quality they have to follow. Okay, so establishing the priorities, identification of the risk associated with the study, setting the tolerance limit, and review of the result and data associated. So you report whatever is being done and how good it is at the limit, whether it is within the tolerance limit or above. So if it is above the tolerance limit, you have to review your process, redefine your process, and then bring it within the tolerance limit. So what are the process approach or proposed approach? What they have done is like you design your trials, how you are conducting your trial, data evaluation, writing of the clinical trial report, and then your regulatory submissions or publications will be done. So trial design is how you are going to go ahead with the clinical trial, how you are going to conduct, because whatever you conduct should be on the patient or the human subjects. So it should not be like a painful process or the human subjects are not happy with the trial conduct. So you should take care like how you conduct your trials, and then you get a feedback from the patients that how do you feel about the clinical trial on a periodical basis. So after a drug is implemented, you should check whether there is any side effects or whether the drug is efficient on the person. So that will be done by the clinical evaluation. You call the patient again, maybe you are giving a second dose of drug or analyzing again, or you are asking the patient a feedback of how do you feel about this clinical trial. So it will be written feedback that is being given from the patient, and the data will be evaluated, and report will be generated, and you will be submitting to the regulatory bodies, so that if it is within the regulatory body, that is regulatory requirement, then it will be the drug will be passed, that is the drug will be given to the market, or you can sustain in the market. So the key issue of the trial and protocol design, data collection and monitoring, data management, all this is that the record should be maintained properly and it should be addressed to the people. That is, if you are getting a negative feedback, you have to address to the trial design, so that the trial will be designed in the various way, and you have to see whether the quality is being met. Okay, so the main issue with all this is that the data collection, data recording, and the data addressing to the required people. Okay, so you prioritize your process. Okay, protection of the trial subject, that is a patient, that is rights and integrity, safety, credibility of data results, all that come in place, right, for the prioritizing and risk mitigation. Okay, and you also have stratified according to knowledge of the product, that is customized depending upon the protocol complexity, therapeutic indication, administration of the product, complexity of the study, vulnerability of the study population. So you have to in short, your quality assurance with respect to your clinical trials will be like protecting up your trial subjects, that is right and integrity, credibility of the data and results, and whether you have a proper approach in conducting the clinical trial, and whether you have a data collection system, and what is the dose you have implemented to the people, and how much is the study population of a particular drug, whether it is a narrow, whether you have widened your clinical trials, whether it is based upon the regions, okay, whether it is you have given the clinical trials to, or the clinical trial subjects you have widened to even other countries, all that you have to record and maintain it. Okay, so mainly your quality assurance is with respect to the how good you are in protecting the trial subject, and also what is the feedback from the trial subject, and also how good you have widened your trials, right? So that is with respect to the difference in population, difference in region. So all this you will be checking with respect to the quality subjects, and you are going to deliver the uh, uh, RBQM, which is planned at, okay, how the sampling plan has done, how the data sourcing is done. So it is a detailed way like how this RBQM will work, right? So in uh, uh, to give the short insight, it's like you try your subjects, you try to collect the uh, data from all the people whoever you have tried the drugs, and your whatever your trial you have done, it should not be in a narrow way, right? And how you are going to collect the feedback. So whether it is a, so if it's a lengthy form you're going to give, people are not going to fill, and the data should be right, right? Whatever feedback they are giving should be right, only then the data analysis will be meaningful. So you try to sort out the way how the starting from the clinical trial to the data that is being collected, and then you ensure whether the quality is met at every step. So that is how the RBQM will operate, right? So we'll see a few, one or two case studies to better understand on how this clinical trials are carried out on quality based. Okay, so we very well know how the clinical trials will be done on subjects, but now you're concentrating on the quality based. So there is a study design that has been done for heart failure. So it is RCT double blind. So RCT double blind means it is the doctor also don't know what type of drug they are using, and the patients are also not aware of what kinds of drug they are using. So that is called as a double blind, right? So both the doctor and the patient doesn't know what type of drug they are used, and this is a drug they are being supplied. Okay, so but the doctor doesn't know what is the side effect of the drug or what is the efficacy of the drug, and it is being given to the person. Okay, so it is for the heart failure, and they have collected the data, right? So so this is information about the patient, like how many days they are being uh, hospitalized, how frequent is the drug that is being given, etc. And then what they do is and if defining. So building is like before the drug is being out for clinical trials, they will define the quality of it. Okay, so what do they do is like whether the drug is based upon the quality operations. So how you are trying to put the drug on a subject, that is how what is the way of implementing of the drug. So whether it is according to the quality requirements, all that will be checked in the building stage. Okay, so it is for the quality operations and data before the trial begins. And defining is that so once you have built it according to the quality requirement, that is how the procedure you're following, okay, who are the people whom you are going to try on the drug on, right, etc., will be in the building stage. Here in this case, right, study, this is the two drug what we are going to implement, and it is for the heart failure, right? It is for the heart failure. These are the two drugs what they have uh, tried to implement on the heart failure patients. So define will tell you like whether you have taken the right participants. Okay, so when it is a heart failure patient and the drug is meant for the heart failure, then you have to implement the drug for only those people. It cannot be like given as like a precaution for somebody else, right? So whether have you tried the drug on the right patient? So that will be defined in the defining stage. Okay, so this will take the quality will take two steps. One is building how you're going to do, and defining is that whether are you taking the right participants and whether the participant have received the right treatment. So, however you have mentioned in the building stage, whether have you implemented on the patient and how long should be the treatment issued, because usually when it is for dissolving a clot or so in a heart patient, it cannot be done just with the one injection. If the intensity of the clot is more, so it maybe you have to do a repeated injection at a defined period. So how long is the patient receiving the treatment? Okay, or whether he has received and he has left the hospital, he has been completely cured of a particular heart problem and he has gone. So all that will be checked in the defining stage. So building and designing. So the quality management people will be very keen in looking whether the building and defining is being done, and then whether the efficiency, right? So now your primary efficiency and safety data come into place, right? Whether so how long is being it is being done, right? Whether the patient has come on a required time gap, that is, if you have asked the patient to come on a 30-day gap, whether he has come on exactly 30 days or there was a late in visit. Okay, and all this is required to check whether the efficacy of the drug. So suppose you are asking the patient to return in 30 days and he has not turned up and he is coming in, maybe he is turning up in only 60 days. So in such case, you are subjecting the drug again to the patient, and maybe the drug is not efficient in him. In such case, you cannot blame the efficiency of the drug, because it is a problem of the patient who has not come on time for the receiving the treatment. So he has come, you have asked for him to come in 30 days, but he has returned in 60 days. In such case, it means that it is the ignorance from the side, or it is the mistake from the patient side and not with the drug. Okay, so in such cases, you have to collect the data when you are asked to him to come 30 days gap, whether he has returned on 30 days, no late visits, okay, or there is late visits, and then you do just checking of the efficacy of the drug. So you will have a weekly review of the data status. So in case of heart failure or heart problematic people, you will be taking the data of ECG. Okay, maybe monthly once, or based upon the severity of the issue. So if the issue is severe, then you have to go for a weekly review after subjecting the drug. So how the ECG pattern is changing after subjecting a particular drug, and then you go with the focus monitoring. Okay, so in such cases, like uh, in case you are uh, checking that ECG and there is no problem with the ECG and the ECG of the patient has been rectified, then you can tell, okay, your problem has been resolved, and then he need not take further treatment from the doctor. In case if the issue has not subsided and it is staying at the same line, then you have to ask the patient to re-hospitalize. Okay, so this is the first line of information what you are collecting, whether the patient has come on time for the treatment, and if he has come, you are taking the ECG, and whether if the ECG is being rectified, yes, it is fine. Okay, the treatment is over for him. If it is not, you are asking him to readmit. Okay, so after that, you are taking the review of him like a monthly review. So even though your uh, uh, action, that is, if your trials are over, since you have to have a touch with the patient. You will ask him to like come for a checkup maybe 3 months once or so that he comes and tells you like how he feels uh, in further to the drug safety, drug safety is in place, all that will be checked within the primary efficacy. So it is like what you can understand from this case study, it's like every data with respect to the patient, the drug, how they are going to try, and after trial, how the patients feel, and you want to know the long term efficacy of the drug. In such cases, you call back the patient in terms of maybe a checkup, maybe a 3 months gap or a 6 months gap to look at whether there is any side effects of the drugs or no. So, like a long-term monitoring of the patient will be done when a drug is being implemented for the first time in a clinical trial subject. Okay, and then there will be a lot of chart that is being drawn to look, and statistician will be and the statistician is also blinded because he doesn't know what is a drug, what is the efficacy, what is the composition of the drug, and who is the patient who he is just a blind person. Whatever data he has got, he will just analyze and give you the data, and they will analyze the data uh, uh, based upon the issues, and they will give back to the people. And now, like after uh, analyzing the data, you will be looking at whether it is a major or a minor issue. Okay, so if the major issue is there, you have to again go to the process stage or even the uh, drug manufacturing stage and then rectify. So, was there any major related issue? So, they will rectify the clinical practice way, trials, etc. And uh, all these issues will be also taken care. That is, if there is a missing initials on ICF page, that is who has done it. You have to always, and who is the trial subject you have maintained, all that you have to put an initial like who is doing and who is the patient, right? So whether it is uh, done or not, is that has to be checked, and follow-up visits that fall outside the protocol window. So these are the minor issues with respect to the GCP, and these are the major issues, that is indication that source may not be belong to the participant treated without obtaining the consent at all. So this is the major issues with related to quality. So after trying the drug on a patient, you will check whether there are any GCP related issues or not, and they are abiding by the quality requirement. So, second drug is again double bind. That is, the doctor also doesn't know what the drug they are going to test, and the patient is also not aware. And it is with respect to the respiratory. So here, actually, when you tell about the heart failure, the subjects what you are trying will be minimum. Okay, but here it is a respiratory problem which most of the people have, just like asthma, effect, etc. So here, how many number of people who we have tried is 17,000 patients and 12,000 sites and 50 different countries you have checked, and over 3.5 years duration the drug has been checked. So one, you should understand that heart failure will be with respect to a very minimum population. Maybe 10% in the area will be having a heart failure, where this drug is like most of the people will be affected with this respiratory diseases, and so it's a wide range you're choosing to try try the drug. Okay, now again you have to check the RBQM will check whether it is how the clinical trial of the process you are going to do, whether the consent from the patient is taken, and what is the type of monitoring the process you are doing. So all the things with respect to quality will be managed by the RBQM people. Okay, and then you will go with the risk-based assessment, that is whether it is under risk or not, whether a particular risk is not. So if you go through, maybe the terms are new for you and you may feel complicated. So that is what I am briefing you. Like here, It is the quality principles what they do. That is what is a trial you are doing, how the procedure, whether the consent from the patient is taken, and how you are going to monitor it, and all that will be taken care of by the quality management people. Here, after the quality management works on, there will be analysis done based upon the risk analysis. As you've got the data from the patient as well as the doctor, now you have to do a risk-based quality assessment, which will be done whether there is an issue, whether how much is the risk, right? It will be randomly calculated, and once it has been calculated, it will be told to the people that whether they are within the limits, whether the risk is within the limits, whether it is based upon the GCP principles, that is uh, good clinical practice, and then if everything is fine, then the drug will be implemented. Okay, so even the clinical data people will be blind without knowing what the drug they have tested or who the patients they have tried. They will just analyze the data and give, and then they will check like whether the quality is defined, okay, and whether the principles are in place. So in short, to tell that your clinical practice is uh, done on many trial subjects, and how good you fit into the quality management is that uh, this QBD design has come into the place, and quality management has also come into place to tell that your clinical trial will be abiding by the quality and regulations. So this is how your clinical practice of a particular drug will be abiding by a quality principles. So this today what we have seen is like how quality principles will be done, or quality principles will be evolved in trying in a clinical trials. So even the clinical trial should manage the quality principles. And thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. Any doubts in the sessions, or you can put it in your comment section, or you can personally WhatsApp me also. Thank you.